This is not a horror movie. This is not fiction. This is real. In July 2021, a woman was pulled over for a simple traffic violation. But when police opened the trunk of her car, they found something that would haunt them forever. 2 children, lifeless, decomposing, inside trash bags in the summer heat. The driver, their aunt. This case shocked the entire country. But what really happened? Who were these children? And how could this go unnoticed for so long? This is the full story of Nicole Michelle Johnson, the aunt who drove around for months with her niece and nephew's bodies in her trunk. It was a hot July night in Essex, Maryland, July 28th, 2021. A Baltimore County police officer pulled over a gray sedan. The reason? Fake temporary tags and speeding. Inside the car was a woman named Nicole Johnson, 33 years old. To the officer, it seemed like a normal stop, until things started to feel off. Nicole didn't seem nervous. She seemed distant, almost like she didn't care what was happening. Then she said something strange. She told the officer, "I won't be here in 5 days. You'll see me on the news." The officer, confused, asked her what she meant, but she brushed it off. As the officer began processing the car for towing, he noticed something. A horrible smell. It wasn't just bad, it was unnatural. He asked Nicole if there was anything in the car he should know about. She said no. Then he opened the trunk. Inside, he found 2 black trash bags, heavy, wet, leaking. He opened the first bag. Inside was the body of a child, a girl wrapped in plastic, decomposed. He opened the second, another child, a boy. He immediately called for backup, and Nicole was placed under arrest. The victims were identified as Jocelyn Johnson, 7 years old, Larry O'Neill, 5 years old. They were Nicole's niece and nephew. Their mother, Nicole Johnson, had left them in Nicole's care more than a year earlier. Back in late 2019, Nicole moved from Ohio to Maryland. She was struggling financially. She hoped her sister could help take care of the kids temporarily while she got back on her feet. But things didn't go as planned. Nicole eventually stopped responding to calls. She kept telling Nicole she was too busy to talk. At one point, she even said the kids were fine, just sleeping or playing or out. Months passed. The mother, Nicole, was still trying to get her children back, but Nicole made excuse after excuse. Eventually, Nicole gave up trying to fight with her sister. She didn't know what else to do. Little did she know, her kids were already gone. After her arrest, Nicole was taken in for questioning. At first, she denied everything, but eventually, she confessed. She said Jocelyn, the 7-year-old girl, died in May 2020. They were staying in a motel. She claimed she struck the child several times out of anger.
And then the next thing I know, she just wasn't saying anything or nothing or nothing. Like.
Okay. So you gave her a beating? And then she was not responsive anymore?
Like, it was mistakes. Like, I took care of them children so good. Like, it was a mistake. Like, I just was trying to discipline. She got in trouble for something one day that I didn't pay her for.
Like what?
Stealing something or going in the refrigerator or doing something or something. And she did it again and she did it again. And then the last time it was just like...
And then when she was taking things like from the refrigerator and stuff.
She was doing all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Like she was taking stuff. Like she was getting the boy in trouble. Like she was just doing all kinds.
And you disciplined her.
Yes.
Okay.
And it went too far.
Okay. How many times do you think you might hit her?
I don't know. But I know she fell.
Fell on what?
On the floor.
Was she standing on something? How was she?
She was just standing up straight.
Okay. And where did you hit her?
I just started doing that.
Okay. Like punching her in the head?
No.
Or
no.
Where?
Like, I think I maybe slapped her in the face, but I didn't punch her in the head. Like, it was more like me hitting on her body, and then she fell.
How did she fall? Backwards? Forwards? Sideways? On her head?
I know she had her head, but I can't remember exactly how it was that she fell.
She hit her head? Mm-hmm.
Both?
Mm-hmm.
Later that night, Jocelyn went to sleep and never woke up. Instead of calling 911, Nicole panicked. She wrapped Jocelyn's body in a blanket and put her in the car trunk. Then she kept driving around with her for months. She even changed motels and moved apartments, with her niece's body still in the trunk. 1 year later, in May 2021, Larry, the 5-year-old, died too. Nicole said he was weak, barely eating, and had lost a lot of weight. One day, he went to sleep and never woke up. Instead of calling police, she placed his body next to Jocelyn's, in the same trunk, inside a plastic tote bag. By the time officers discovered them in July, both children had been dead for over a year. The medical examiners were shocked by what they found. Jocelyn, at 7 years old, weighed just 18 pounds. That's about half of what a healthy child her age should weigh. Larry weighed just 21 pounds. Both children were severely undernourished. Signs of abuse were found: old bruises, injuries, untreated wounds. The official causes were ruled as homicide by neglect and physical abuse. These weren't just accidental deaths. This was murder. Nicole Johnson wasn't a stranger to trouble, but no one expected something like this. She had a criminal record: petty theft, traffic violations, unpaid tickets. She lived a chaotic life, constantly moving, changing jobs, evicted multiple times. But people who knew her said she didn't seem violent. They were wrong. During questioning, Nicole said chilling things. At one point, she told investigators, "It is what it is." When asked why she didn't ask for help, she simply said, "I didn't want to deal with it." There was no sign of mental illness, no evidence of outside pressure, just cold decisions, and 2 innocent lives gone. News of the discovery spread fast. Headlines across America covered the story. How did no one notice? Aunt drove with dead kids for months. 7-year-old weighed just 18 pounds. People were outraged, shocked, and heartbroken. The children's mother, Decel, was devastated. She had trusted her own sister, and now both of her babies were gone. At the sentencing, Decel spoke through tears. "I wake up every day thinking about them. I trusted her. I wish I hadn't." The judge, Nancy Purpura, called the case one of the most disturbing she had ever seen. In August 2024, Nicole Johnson pleaded guilty to 2 counts of first-degree child abuse, resulting in death. Each count carried a maximum penalty of life in prison. In February 2025, she was officially sentenced. Life in prison, with all but 50 years suspended. That means Nicole will serve 50 years behind bars. No parole, no early release. She will be 83 years old before she is even eligible for release. By then, no one will remember her face. But the names Jocelyn and Larry will never be forgotten. This case raised a lot of hard questions. How could 2 children disappear and no one notice? Where were child protective services, school systems, neighbors, friends? COVID lockdowns in 2020 created the perfect storm for isolation and abuse to go unnoticed. But even then, how did no one hear them cry? How did no one smell the car? How could someone see Nicole and not ask where the kids were? The truth is, sometimes evil hides in plain sight, and sometimes people look away when they should speak up. As Nicole Johnson stood in court hearing her sentence, she didn't cry, she didn't beg, she just stood there, silent. Maybe it was guilt, maybe it was shame, or maybe she just didn't care. We'll never know. But what we do know is that 2 young children were taken from this world too early, not by strangers, not by monsters in the dark, but by someone who should have protected them, their aunt. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to Jocelyn and Larry's story. They deserved better. They deserved love, and they deserved to be remembered. If you ever suspect child abuse, speak up. Call the authorities. Don't wait. Don't assume someone else will handle it, because silence kills. And in this case, it did. Rest in peace, Jocelyn and Larry. You are not forgotten.